welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Laura. I am a mom to two little girls. I live in Texas. And on my channel, I usually like to do a cleaning motivation. I've been doing a lot of home decorating, but for today's video, it is going to be a little different. I have not done a Q&A video in so long, and I actually decided to do a sit-down Q&A that actually has to do with a tube removal surgery, also known as a salpingectomy. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm going to be getting my tubes removed on Tuesday. I'm not sure when you guys will see this video, as I feel a little anxious to have as much as I can everything ready before I do go to the surgery, just because I like to have things prepared for my kids. I have never really left my kids or anything like that, so I know I'm going to be busy doing prepping things and making sure that they have everything they need, because I know I'm going to be recovering afterwards. Anyway, I wanted to do this Q&A because if you follow me on Instagram, I have been doing more, I guess, updates about that. I wanted to do a Q&A to just spread awareness, or to help anybody out there who watches this video in case they're wondering about the surgery, or they are considering it or not considering it. I hope that this video is helpful to people who may or may not want to get this surgery. So basically, I am going to be going under to get my fallopian tubes removed, and that would make me not reproductive. It would make me just not be able to have children ever again. I mean, if the fallopian tubes are not there, then that just, you know, it's impossible to get pregnant. It's another form of birth control without any of the artificial stuff, which is one of my #1 reasons I am getting this surgery, is because I am done with birth control. I don't like it. I'm not saying that it's not necessary for some women, because I feel like it is necessary in some cases, but in my case, the only reason it's necessary is because I don't want to have kids. But because I also know that that I don't want to have kids ever again, and I don't ever want to be pregnant ever again, then I need to find a solution, because I don't want to be on birth control for years to come. I don't want to do that to my body. Being on birth control, you know, it has caused me to gain weight. It's caused me tons of mood swings. I have not had a menstrual period in so long. I mean, I did bleed for a while after I had Melly, who's my 1-year-old, but nothing natural. So I'm excited to actually get my period. That might sound crazy to you or some people. Wow, Laura, you're excited to get your period. Yeah, I am. I'm excited because it's something natural, and the fact that it's not happening is a problem to me. But anyway, let's get to the questions. I had a couple of questions from some of you guys that follow me on Instagram. I won't say the names, just to keep it private, but I'm gonna start with #1. I have 5 questions total, so this will be a short and cute video. #1 is, what's the difference with removal, tying, and burning the tubes? So there are 2 different types of surgeries to, you know, considering the tubes. So there's a tubal ligation, which is the tying of the tubes, where the surgeon ties up the tubes, burns the ends, and that's it. There's no removal, there's just a tie, which is what I thought I was gonna get. And then there's the removal, where you actually take out both fallopian tubes, therefore there's just absolutely no chance of you getting pregnant. So those are the 2 difference of the 2 different types of surgeries that there are out there. The second question is removing them different from getting them tied? Why did you pick removing them over tied? So like I said, there's a difference between tying and removing. They're both just as effective. I don't really know what it depends on. I think you'd have to ask your OB what they are more comfortable with, because it also depends on your doctor. Some doctors are comfortable with doing just a regular tie, and then other doctors will actually do the removal. And my doctor, when I went in to talk to my doctor about this possible surgery, she did say that it would be a complete removal. which I am okay with, because the point of this surgery is to not be able to have kids anymore, which is what I want. I don't want any more kids. Yeah, so I just felt like that was something that I was okay with. I wasn't going to, like, I didn't feel like I had to argue, like, oh, well, it's because I just want a tie, or I just felt like the removal's fine with me. Like, if it wasn't, then why would I be there, you know? Okay, the next question is, I always hear about tube ties, not as much removal. What made you choose the latter? So, yeah, no, I definitely think that a lot of people hear mostly of a tubal ligation, which is the tie, not so much the actual removal, but it does exist. It's a possible procedure. I did learn a lot about it because I've been researching it, and the one thing I really like about the removal is that it actually decreases your chances or your risks of having ovarian cancer. And to me, that's just like a plus. Like I mentioned, I mean, having the removal would give me reassurance 100% that yes, like this is like it. You will not be able to have kids, which is what I signed up for. That's the procedure that I want. The next question is, at what point did you know you were done having kids? Is there a feeling? So if you guys like know, I have two kids, right? I have a 5-year-old and I have a 14-month-old. My 5-year-old was like the worst sleeper ever. She was super colicky, and basically it was hell. I was super sleep deprived. This was like 5 years ago, and it lasted, I think she did not sleep through the night till she was like 2 and change, like 2.5. And that caused a lot of like stress. You know, that sleep deprivation over time, it really does affect you mentally. So that was a big factor. And I know it is for a lot of women. I have friends that have told me, like, I legit don't want to have kids ever again because of that sleep deprivation feeling. It's horrible. I know. I would cry. So anyway, fast forward to having my second little girl. She was such a good sleeper for the first 4 months. She did really well. She would sleep long stretches. Like, I thought we were out of the woods. We were so happy. We're like, wow, she's so different. Like, we have a good sleeper. Yay, we were bragging. And then she just had this huge backtracking, or you know, a regression, and she just stopped sleeping well. Her naps were 20 minutes. I am not kidding. They were 20 minutes. She would not sleep through the night. She would cry. She would stay up all night. Sometimes my husband would work overnight, so it was just me at home with her, and it was really difficult. So that caused even more stress because, you know, even if you don't realize, you know, you're 5 years older, that means you're 5 years more tired, you know? So I did feel like it caused even more tiredness this time around. It was very hard to function. So I just don't feel like I want to go through that again, in fear that I'm going to have a third one and they're going to be just as bad of a sleeper. But it's not just that. It's also that I've had 2 C-sections. My second one was a C-section because my doctor said that she was afraid that if we tried for a vaginal birth, that my uterus would have more of a chance of rupturing. So they just decided to do the C-section so that that wouldn't happen. I've heard a lot of like theories, and I've heard a lot of information on how this might just be a myth, and it's not true. That actually the chances of a uterus rupturing is very slight, and to not really take this information seriously and to try to induce yourself naturally and to have the baby naturally vaginally without the use of or having to have a C-section. I don't know how true that is, but I just know for a fact that if I were to have a third, it's going to be another C-section. And a friend of mine actually told me that a woman's body is it's not recommended to have more than three C-sections. If you have a 4th C-section, like, that's just so risky. So to me, having 3 is very close to having 4 C-sections, and I just don't want to risk that. I just feel like I matter, and I shouldn't have to go through that again just because I would want another child. Like, no, I'm pretty okay with having 2 kids. It feels right. So I wouldn't exactly say that there's a feeling, really, unless that's your, like, that's how you feel. But I mean, in my case, I just feel like I'm done, and I also want to live my life and, you know, think about my future too. I'm 27, so I feel like I still have a lot ahead of me, and I want to, you know, go back to work. And I do have a bachelor's degree, and I would like to put it to use. And for me, the way I see it is, if I were to have another child, like, that's another like 4 or 5 years until they start kindergarten or preschool. So I'm like, whoa, that's another extra 5 years to like my time of being a stay-at-home mom. And not that I don't love it, I like being a stay-at-home mom, but it's like, after a while you're like, all right, well, what am I gonna do? You know, what am I gonna do for myself? You know, my retirement, my job, you know, what about me? So that's how I've been feeling as of lately. Okay, so the next question is, will the recovery be similar to a C-section, or is the incision different? So I was actually really afraid, because I was like, oh my gosh, is this surgery going to be just like a C-section? Because if it is, I know how it feels. I've had 2 of them in the last 5 years. But it's a surgery, so if you think it's similar to a C-section, then that's fine. But the incision is different. So my C-section incisions were on the groin area, so I have like 2 lines. They are practically invisible. They are pretty much, I think they overlap each other a little bit. And then the incision for a salpingectomy is actually in your belly button. So that's, the term for it is called laparoscopic. So they're going to be inserting a little camera inside my belly button, and then they're going to make 2 more incisions on the sides of my lower abdomen, and that is going to act as the doctor's hands in order to take out the tubes. So those are actually where the incisions will be in my body, not exactly where the C-section is. If it was like that, I'd be a little bit more hesitant to even get this done. As I said, I don't really want to do another incision over my 2 already done incisions. Like, that's scary to me. So I'm kind of glad that it is on the belly button instead. The recovery is a little similar in the sense that, you know, you can't drive, you can't lift heavy, you got to be careful when you're walking. Obviously you're going to be sore in your abdomen. I will probably be in bed for that day, but I definitely don't think it's as hard of a recovery or as lengthy of a recovery as it is for a C-section. Because think about it, a C-section, first of all, it's like a whole cut, and they're taking out a whole ass baby from you, and that is like so strenuous and a lot harder, I think. For my C-sections, I think my recovery was about a week, and after the week I felt a lot better. But there's some women that take a lot longer than a week to feel better. So this is not going to be as strenuous. It's not going to be as overwhelming. So I'm glad about that. And I'm also glad I have a 5-year-old who is very much self-efficient when it comes to doing like very practical, basic things. She is very independent, so that makes me happy. My husband's going to be here for my first 2 days, so he's going to be here for the day of the actual surgery. He's going to take me to and from it, while my mom stays here with the girls during it. I've talked to several of my friends here on YouTube and on Instagram, and a lot of you guys have said that the surgery itself is very easy. My doctor did mention it takes like 15 or 20 minutes for the actual procedure, which is very short for a surgery. I was under the impression that I had to be in recovery for like 2 hours afterwards, but no, actually for a C-section it's like about a 2-hour recovery period, and then for this one it's just very much like you're out, you know, which I'm very happy about, because I don't want to spend any more time in a hospital than I need to. Like I said, like for my previous C-section, like it was really anxiety ridden. I just didn't like it. I was very much shaky. I was terrified for some reason. I don't know, like something about having the C-section again kind of like freaked me out. So anyways, this is going to be very much less invasive, and I'm very happy about it, that it is just kind of like an in and out thing. Like I said, I do feel like I'm pretty good with pain for the most part. Like I don't feel like I don't know, I think I take pain pretty well even with my C-sections. It wasn't that difficult for me to continue doing things. About after a week I was pretty much good. Okay, so the last question that I have for you guys is, did you have to get qualified to get approved for this? So if by qualified you mean like if I was a good candidate in the eyes of my doctor, yes. Normally it's I guess it's normal or a little bit more common for women to get a tube ligation or a tube removal when they are like pushing 30 or already after 30. Normally when they are a lot younger, that is when doctors are more off put, or they're more hesitant to actually do it because you're still so young, and you might change your mind in the future. And the salpingectomy is not reversible, like it is permanent. It is a permanent form of birth control, which is what I'm doing. And a tube ligation, I'm not exactly sure if that is reversible or not. I'm not sure. You might want to check with your doctor. But yeah, so my doctor, I was a little bit scared about how she was going to react when I told her like I was going to do this. Thankfully, she was so understanding and very much like welcoming of the idea, because all she asked was, are you 1,000% positive that this is what you want to do? I'm 27 years old, so I'm pushing 30, and I guess I'm closer to 30 than I am 20, which was a good like it was a plus in my situation. And I said yes. I said I don't see myself having any more kids. I want to refocus on my body. I want to just be able to, enjoy my girls. And for me, I feel like 4 is a good number overall. She said that I was a good candidate for it. Then she explained the process, and it was very easy. And then she just said that we had to wait for the insurance to see if it was going to cover it or partial. And that's the next part. When you say qualified, yeah. So I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but here's some food for thought if you guys are considering this or want to check. I had my last baby girl last October, so it's been already a year and change since I've had pregnant women's Medicaid. That insurance covered my hospital visit and the stay, and because of COVID, they have been giving extensions. So these extensions really are very much extensive, because I have friends who are, it's been like 2 or 3 years since they've been pregnant, and they're still covered by that same insurance. So if you guys are interested, or you guys are curious to see if you guys are still covered, definitely reach out to your insurance company, and you might just be surprised. They do give extensions. I was very much surprised as well when I found out. I was like, wow. And everybody recommended me to get whatever I needed to get done, because it was going to be free. So yes, I was qualified, I guess, to get this done for free. And yeah, so it feels like it's the right time, and it feels like it's the right decision for me and my family. Every time I ask Leia, hey, do you want me to have more babies? She's just like, no. She's like, you already have so much on your plate. And she just wants just her and Melly, which is my 14-month-old. But yeah, you guys, this is the end of the Q&A. I just wanted to share a couple of questions that I was given. I wanted to share that with you all. You guys probably might see this video up by Monday, and then Tuesday is the surgery, which I really hope to vlog for you guys, because I think that's also very important for you guys to see that. And then I also want to do the post-op vlog as well. So I will be hopefully able to vlog that for you guys. So thank you so much for sitting here with me and listening to me talk. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye guys.